Good evening. Welcome to Monday's Midlands Today from the BBC. Tonight, the worst housing crisis since the war. That's how one expert describes the situation facing thousands of families around the region.
Now, one council is trying to tackle the shortage of homes by spending over £4 million leasing private flats and homes which are in need of repair and are currently standing empty.
Well, latest figures suggest there are almost 184,000 people on council house waiting lists around the Midlands. But at the same time, there are over 73,000 homes unoccupied.
Well, our reporter Joanne Riddle has been looking into a new scheme in Birmingham which aims to bring some of those homes back into use.
Emma Humphreys has been waiting for a bigger council house for 8 years. She sleeps in the lounge so her teenage son and daughter don't have to share a room in their two-bedroom home at Acox Green in Birmingham.
They're now 17 and 16 and we're living in a two-bedroom property. So I have to give them some sort of human rights by having their own rooms.
But help could be at hand. Birmingham City Council and the government are ploughing £4 million into a scheme to bring neglected, privately owned empty homes into the rental sector.
On behalf of the landlord, we will manage the property, we'll bring in council tenants on a decent lease and we'll recover the cost of refurbishment, and the private landowner will get some money back as well.
The council says it could be beneficial to neighbours too. This is the view Sharon Henry and her 11-year-old son face from their back garden at Handsworth in Birmingham. The house next door's been empty for several years.
Oh gosh, it's just a nightmare really. I mean, as I say, I don't come out in my garden at all. During the summer, Jayden doesn't really come out and play, do you? Because it's just so run down.
Upstairs, the wall's drying out. Birmingham City Council stepped in to repair the roof next door, which had caused the problem.
I feel kind of bad because I've got asthma and every time I come in here, sometimes I start coughing because of the problem.
Birmingham City Council say this property fell into disrepair when the owner died and her family was unable to maintain it. The council's making a compulsory purchase order on the house, but it's also typical of the type of property which could be leased by the council and rented out. Birmingham City Council says 28,000 people are currently waiting for council homes, and there are 5,400 privately owned properties which have been empty for more than 6 months. But back in Acox Green, Emma Humphreys is sceptical.
I'm a bit upset because I think they should really extend the properties that they've got, because they're council properties, they're their own properties. They seem to be, they're going to give private landlords the money and waste, so that money's going to be wasted straight away, given to private landlords. Why don't they just do up their own properties?
Emma says she wants a council house. The City Council, meanwhile, says the new project could see families moving into refurbished, privately owned homes by the end of the year. Joanne Riddle, BBC Midlands Today.
Earlier, I spoke to David Ireland from the charity Empty Homes, which campaigns to have vacant properties brought back into use. What did he think of this latest development at Birmingham City Council?
Well, I think it's very positive. I mean, there's a huge number of people in housing need in the Birmingham area, and when you've got so many empty properties, it surely makes sense to get those into use. I mean, it's the most efficient way of getting new homes into the system, is to bring the empty ones back into use.
The thing is, the city's got 28,000 people on the council house waiting list, so this isn't going to be a complete solution, is it?
No, of course not. And there's a need, you know, across the whole region to build more homes. But I think most people will see that, you know, if you're going to build more homes, you've got to make sure they're full. And it also makes sense to make sure that we're making best use of the homes we've already got. So I think it's part of a solution, it's not the whole solution.
And just looking at the whole of the West Midlands as a region, I think there's 184,000 people on the waiting list. I mean, do you think councils could be doing more to address people's housing needs?
Well, they could, but I think, you know, that this is one very sensible part of it, and they're actually being rewarded now by government for doing this. They get a thing called a new homes bonus every time a home comes back into use. So we think they ought to be reinvesting that bonus in schemes like this, so that they're actually using that reward to try and get more homes into use, and also to build more homes, so that they actually provide some affordable homes for these people. I mean,
for someone coming to this new, as it were, they would be staggered at those figures, don't you think? 184,000 people on a waiting list and something like 73,000 empty homes. It is an astonishing statistic, isn't it?
I mean, yeah. I mean, we're in a housing crisis, and I mean, it's it's the worst that it's been really since the war. You know, we're building less houses than any time since 1920. We've got more empty properties than we've had any time over the last 10 years. And really, that's not an efficient way of running our housing system. We've got lots of people in housing need, and we've got to be really efficient now. You know, with the limited resources we've got and the amount of people in need, we've got to be really, really efficient about the housing stock we've got. It's a valuable resource, and we've got to use it to best effect. And measures like this help, but they're not the only solution.
David Ireland, thank you.
Coming up a little later.